this webinar. So I've just clicked record now. Should have done that a couple of moments ago, really. I'm Nicola Romaine, and I'm the National Primary Literacy Advisor here at Pearson. And I'm joined on this webinar by my colleagues Lucy Browse and Eleanor Dix, who are going to be supporting. Lucy, in a short while, will be providing a walkthrough on Book Club Guided on our platform, which is Active Learn Primary. So to provide you with an overview of the session, so the first part is just a very quick overview of the Book Club ebook library. Some of you will be customers already. Some of you may be considering becoming customers of our ebook library. So just a bit of a top level overview of that. And then I'm going to be delving in as a top level on Book Club Guided and how it will support you in developing fluency and comprehension across Key Stage 1. And then we'll have a look at Book Club Guided at Key Stage 2. And so the same, so developing fluency and comprehension there as well. Then, as I said, Lucy will be providing a walkthrough on Active Learn Primary. Then we'll have a Q&A. So the Q&A today are a couple of pre-prepared questions, actually. Some questions that we get quite often. If you do want to ask any questions as we go through, please do pop them in the Q&A and either Eleanor will endeavour to answer those as we go through, or we will collate them. And in our follow-up email to you, we will provide a recording of this webinar and any questions that have been asked and we weren't able to answer during the webinar itself. And then finally, at the end of the webinar, I will just provide some information around sort of next steps, that kind of thing. Okay, so let's get started then. So Book Club Guided is part of our ebook library here at Pearson. So some of you, as I said before, will have the ebook library already. So we've got a variety of primary literacy reading pathways as part of that, which are the best way to buy all of your digital resources from Book Club Phonics, Rapid Reading, Rapid Phonics, and Progress and Assess, which are all part of our primary literacy portfolio. You can also add easy buy matching print packs to those subscriptions, which is really, really important. So our ebook library is designed with you in mind, and our pathways will help all of your pupils to develop a lifelong love of reading, and that is our commitment really to our schools. So you can see here on the slide that Book Club ebook library here, you can see that Book Club Guided sits alongside Book Club Independent and Book Club Shared and Book Club Reading Corner as well. So we have had webinars on Book Club Shared and Book Club Reading Corner. So if you attended those, you will have had the recording. We can also send the recording out to you if you weren't in those webinars on request, so you can get a bit more information around those two products as well, which are fantastic products actually. And I will share, as I said at the end of this webinar, some next steps where which will help you to know how you can reach out to us to find out a little bit more about those products as well. So that's our ebook library. And just to summarise that then, so the ebook library has beautiful ebooks for all of your reading needs. All genres are covered. We have well-known and family favourite characters, perfect for the online reading world, which encourages children to read anytime, anywhere, on mobile devices and so forth. Embedded in this digital offering are fun activities in every ebook to spark enthusiasm and record progress, and also included are diversity, equity and inclusion, which is at the heart of our books. And as I said before, as part of that ebook library, we have Book Club Shared and Book Club Reading Corner. So the books within the ebook library sort of serve different purposes, if you like. So if you think about the reading framework, for example, I would say that different products kind of address different issues that are pulled out of that reading framework. So really, really useful to have a conversation around how you can use that to your advantage. Okay, so just to summarise Book Club Guided then. So Book Club Guided, for Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2 is a dialogic approach to achieving comprehension mastery. It's about whole class teaching, so all children learning together through active participation. We have daily lessons which support the build-up of knowledge and skills. There are opportunities for group and individual practice with a collaborative approach. Questions are embedded in Book Club Guided Key Stage 1 and Book Club Guided Key Stage 2 to help children explore texts at a deeper level. And embedded in the product as well is an opportunity to analyse words, components of texts, and opportunities to enable discussion as well. So in a nutshell, that's what Book Club Guided does, that kind of mastery dialogic approach to teaching reading comprehension. The next thing, before we delve in a little bit more depth to the product itself, is about how Book Club Guided meets the guidance in the revised DFE reading framework of 2023. So as I said, all of our products do address different aspects of that guidance. And for Book Club Guided itself, the kind of headlines are the fact that it develops language comprehension through providing opportunities for listening and talking about stories and other literature on a breadth of subjects. It purposefully builds up pupils' knowledge of words and the ideas that they represent, so there are plentiful opportunities for that. The reading framework tells us that all pupils should have the opportunity to listen to and discuss the same texts as their peers, regardless of ability. And that whole class mastery approach provides the opportunity for that. That we should be preparing all pupils to read a text which will support their comprehension and interest, as well as engaging them in reading. And the use of effective questioning is important to deepen pupils' understanding, prompting them to think about the ideas and language used in the texts they read and hear, driving productive discussion and improving attainment. And all of those aspects that I've pulled out of the reading framework are parts of Book Club Guided for Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2. Okay, so let's have a bit of a look at the component chart, then let's dive in. So Book Club Guided is a robust guided reading programme. As I said before, it helps children to master fluency and deepen comprehension. And as I said, it's broken into Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2 packages. So those two packages are separate, with each approach differently to better suit the stage of child development. So even though they encompass all of those aspects that I pulled out of the reading framework, there are nuances to those two different products, if you like. There are similarities as well, but there are nuances which suit the child development and that stage of development. So what do the packs include? So beautiful print and ebooks that children want to read at Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2. It's important to say that the books at Key Stage 1 are not absolutely fully decodable. They're approximately 80% decodable, with some additional context words built into each text. So you wouldn't use these in replacement of your decodable text. You would use them to enhance your reading offer as a whole class approach. So those words, as I said, should be read by the teacher, and they are designed to allow for a more interesting story that focuses on comprehension, and discussing these words is a really good way to expand children's vocabulary. You can see on the component chart there as well, there are also multi-session guided reading cards for every book at Key Stage 1. And at Key Stage 2, we have weekly teaching cards to help you structure your teaching. At Key Stage 2 as well, we have pupil workbooks, which as part of the teaching cycle, move your children's comprehension forward and develop their vocabulary, and provide an opportunity for really meaningful formative assessment and evidence collection as well, which we know is really, really important. There's also an online teacher toolkit packed with additional teaching support, including weekly and daily plans, supporting audio and visual resources and more. And we also have a professional development course, or courses, I should say, designed for primary schools who have a digital subscription to Book Club Guided as well, and a little bit more about that later on. So that's the component chart there, which we can send you in the follow-up email. That's the Key Stage 1 part of the component chart. And then you can see on the slide now the Key Stage 2 part, which provides you with an overview of the range of fiction and non-fiction books as well, actually at a glance, which is really, really handy. And then, so let's have a deeper dive into Key Stage 1 Guided then. So the focus for Key Stage 1 Guided, as you can see on the slide there, is about book-related talk, developing vocabulary understanding and developing that vocabulary, and also language comprehension. So you can see the kind of cycle there as well. So it's centered around books that your children really want to read. As I said, you can see the cycle there. So the first step in the cycle, you can see books and teaching cards, which structure the guided reading sessions to help children to practice their fluency and master deeper comprehension as well. Those time-saving guided reading cards accompany each and every one of the books and cover multiple of sessions that go into depth with each text. They focus on questions that will challenge and grow children's comprehension skills. And there are also accompanying photocopyable activities to support each title and extend learning as well. And for each guided reading session, key vocabulary is pulled out and taught explicitly. So you can see these here on the slide. An example of a Key Stage 1 book, Eco Apes Use Rubbish, is the example that I've pulled out. And you can see on the inside cover there, hopefully you can see it on the slide, you have the GPCs that are practiced in this book listed, as well as high frequency words. You can also see the guided reading card, which is the lesson basically in essence, which provides info on the book band that this book is aligned to, the genre, which in this case is fantasy fiction, the length of the book, the phonics phase, which is phase 3. And if you were a book club phonics user, for example, which units or sets of GPCs are potentially covered in this book? So I think this one covers all a selection of GPCs up to unit 8 of book club phonics. As I say, that's if you're a book club phonics user. The card also has a 3-part approach to teaching reading, so before, during and after. So practicing phonics, blending, discussing the text and answering questions are all covered within the sessions themselves. And then in addition, session 2 covers spoken language and writing with opportunities for talking about elements of the text. And then you have the photocopyable master, which is also on the slide there, which provides an opportunity to write a sentence in response to the text. So you've got a really full approach there to teaching reading comprehension on all sort of levels, which is great. And then moving on to Key Stage 2, and as I said earlier on, these are very much in line with children's kind of development. So you will see in Key Stage 2 guided, sorry, I'm a bit sort of tongue twisted here with that it really reflects the development. So again, focusing on book-related talk, vocabulary development and language comprehension, the same way as Key Stage 1 guided does. Key Stage 2 guided uses weekly teaching cycles that apply 8 key learning strategies, including 3 key questions. And again, it's a programme that is based on rich texts and proven talk-based approaches to foster that really deep comprehension. So you can see on the slide there that you have 5 days. So on day 1 or session 1, children would complete a vocabulary activity in their workbooks based on key text vocabulary, which is really rich and a really good opportunity to develop their vocabulary. Day 2 or session 2, children would pre-read the text and make notes in their workbooks about the 3 key questions. Day 3 or session 3 would be an opportunity for children to discuss those 3 key questions using strategies to comprehend the text. Day 4 or session 4 is an opportunity for children to reflect on discussion in their workbooks by completing follow-up tasks, which embed strategies. And then day 5 or session 5 would be an opportunity for children to complete a follow-up writing activity linked to the text, which really practices and embeds those key strategies. And then the rich texts and other resources can be found online on the Active Learn platform, as with other core book club products. So Book Club Guided Key Stage 2 provides 30 weeks of teaching for each year group, 3, 4, 5 and 6, with 10 weeks of teaching per term. And then each week, as expected, of teaching is anchored by a key text. Texts are across a breadth of genres and styles. Some are studied for 1 week, whilst others are studied for over a period of up to sort of 5 weeks. So as you can see there, that's the kind of typical cycle of teaching. Again, that whole class mastery approach. Just a little look at those workbooks, really worth pulling these out. So this is from year 3. So Book Club Guided Key Stage 2 has got pupil workbooks, which is part of the teaching cycle, really move on the children's comprehension, develop their vocabulary and provide an opportunity for meaningful formative assessment and evidence collection, which we know is really important. It's really important to say that these are printed on really high quality paper. There is a space for children to record their own thoughts and ideas as well, and to help that kind of engagement. They're colourful and set out in such a way that is engaging for children, and they can sort of see their own success as well, and their own progress as they work through these workbooks. And then those 3 key questions that I sort of mentioned before. So Book Club Guided Key Stage 2 focuses on 3 key questions, which are the looking question, the clue question and the thinking question. A really important part of this programme. And in addition to your subscription, or as part of your subscription, I should say, there is additional support. You can see a screen grab there on the slide, in the form of videos by one of the authors of the programme, Wayne Tennant, who discusses comprehension, and there's a discussion around those different types of questions as well, which is really supportive of that kind of consistent approach in school as well, if you're new to the product and the programme. Vocabulary. So there is a really strong focus on developing and understanding vocabulary at the core of the programme, of both Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2. Meaning, you can see meaning is explored in the context of the text and in the context and in a broader context as well. And I think if you have a look at this, it's really impressive, the quality of the vocabulary that children are introduced to throughout this programme. So that's just pulled out there. I think this is from one of the year 6 texts, and there's a real opportunity to really explore the meaning of those words, as I said, in the context of the text and in different contexts as well. And there are opportunities within the workbooks to really focus on those words, and to really kind of embed meaning and embed the kind of knowledge around those words as well. So that's a real strength of the programme. I mentioned professional development. So there are 2 courses available for Book Club Guided. So one course is designed for the Key Stage 1 team in a school who have a digital subscription to Book Club Guided, and the other for the Key Stage 2 team who have a digital subscription. So the Key Stage 1 course, as it says on the slide, includes what's included and how to find it on Active Learn Primary, the guided reading cards and how to use them effectively for delivering guided reading sessions, bug notes and bug time to explore the ebooks, some admin around Active Learn Primary and a walkthrough of the platform itself, how to allocate books and using the pupil world, how to track pupil progress and creating a whole school action plan. And then at Key Stage 2, again, what's included and how to find it all on Active Learn Primary, exploring and understanding the challenges that children face with comprehension, unpicking how to overcome these challenges, using Book Club Guided to effectively deliver comprehension sessions, how to use the teaching cycle to ensure an in-depth and consistent approach to teaching comprehension, effective classroom management and implementation, how to assess comprehension, and again, creating a whole school action plan. So really an in-depth coverage of the 2 products there, as an offer through the professional development courses that you can access. So that's just a very sort of potted summary of Book Club Guided at Key Stage 1, Book Club Guided at Key Stage 2. I'm going to hand over to Lucy now, who is going to provide you with a walkthrough of both of those products. Over to you, Lucy.
Brilliant. Thanks, Nicola. That was a really useful overview. What I'll do, I'll just go into Active Learn Primary. Let me just close that down a minute. I just want to share my screen. Nicola, it might be easier. Could you stop sharing and then I can hopefully just go into...
Okay, Lucy, I've stopped sharing now.
Brilliant. Thank you. Okay, can you see my screen okay?
Yeah, we can see that.
Brilliant. So this is Active Learn Primary. For those that already have Bug Club resources with us, you'll be very familiar with the Bug Club tile. The other tiles are other resources that Pearson also produce, but I'm going to be focusing in on Bug Club. So let me click on that. You can see at the top level you have planning. So I'll focus in on Key Stage 2 guided planning. And we also have in resources, you've got Key Stage 1 guided and Key Stage 2 guided. This is where you'll also find those other ebook library resources that Nicola mentioned available. So independent, there's phonics, shared plays, shared reading, etc. But what I'll do first is focus in on Key Stage 1 guided. So let me click on that. So basically, this is how you access all of the books that you'll be wanting to allocate out to your pupils. So you can do that by book band, reading recovery level, year, or phonic phase. So what I'll do, I'll just narrow it down by putting year in there, and then further narrow it down to year 1. And then you can see there are fiction, non-fiction, and plays available. So if I click on spring, so that's the term that we just entered in, and have a look at non-fiction, that brings back some of the books that are available to select from. So to get to your guided reading notes for that book that Nicola showed so brilliantly, you just click on the link here and that will enable you to open them up. Can you see that okay? Brilliant, thank you. And you've also got your photocopyable master associated with that book just here as well. So you just click on that to open up the photocopyable master. So if I just go back a moment and open up the guided reading notes for a little look at big reptiles. As Nicola said, what you've got here is your summary, so about the book. You've then got your session 1, which is reading the book, so before reading, your walkthrough, during reading, after reading, and then you would go into your session 2 at a later stage where you'd look at the spoken language and writing. So the writing is where you would show the children the photocopyable master and they would be able to record some information, in this case, about the reptiles that they've been reading about. To allocate a book, you just simply click on the title and then you click on allocate in the drop down box, and then you just select your class. So in this case, it's a year 1 class. Select all pupils by clicking at the top, or select next to the children the ones that you want to allocate it to, and then you simply click on allocate, and that's then allocated for you. All of the books have the read to me function, which is really useful. So the children can either read it independently, read it with someone in class, or have it read to them as well. But what I'll do, as we're pushed for time, I'll move on to Bug Club Key Stage 2. So what we'll do, we'll have a look at the planning for that. So if I click on Key Stage 2 guided, at the top level, there are those videos that Nicola mentioned. So this is Dr. Wayne Tennant talking about the all-important looking question, clue question, and thinking question. There's also a couple of introductory videos, so an introduction to comprehension and using comprehension strategies in there. And also, if you follow on down, there's some info about assessing comprehension. You navigate using this toolbar here. It's really simple to do. You can look at the top level. So if you're a year 3 teacher, if you click on that, basically this will give you your yearly overview of all the different texts that the children will be encountering. You can then go to weeks quite easily from here, or if you just click on the drop down on the right hand side and go to spring term, you can get to them that way as well. The spring term overview, again, will show you week by week what you'll be encountering. It's got your teacher resources in one place and your pupil resources there as well. I'll focus in on this week 11. So at the very top, you've got your observation reading sheet and your teaching card. And then you've got a question sheet, which includes the looking, clue, and thinking question. There are some resources that you can open up and display front of screen to illustrate the resource that you're using. So I should explain, Bright Sparks is actually a poem from one of our magazine type books, which is looking at zoo news. So that's why we've got a capybara, a skink, and a yak, for example, there. And then you've got your various workbook pages as well. But let's open up this way and go to week 11. So you can see, as Nicola explained, you've got your day one activities, which is looking at the description of the book where the children are sort of familiarising themselves with some of the key vocab that they'll be encountering. You move into day two, where the children look at the Zoo News poem and think about the looking clue and thinking question. You've got your day three, which is all about a group discussion. So really using that to facilitate a really rich questioning. And basically the children will be learning from each other and ideas will be growing that way. They then go back on to day four, where they complete an activity in their workbook, and day five, when they complete a follow-on activity. As Nicola, I think, mentioned, this does support children that might need further extension or support in what they're doing as well. So there's an extend activity which you can open here, and also a support activity that you'll find at the bottom of day five. So those all important, beautiful workbooks really come to the fore then. So what I'll do, I'll just quickly show you how you can access the resources a separate way. So you can go into resources, click on guided, and then you basically use this to drill down. So this time we'll go to year 3 again. We'll click on spring term. You can see week 11, which is the week we've been focusing on. And you've got poetry, and then the type of activity. So you've got book, photo, photocopyable, question sheet, teaching card, and the workbook as well. So I'll just quickly show you. If I scroll down, you can see how you can access all the pages of the workbook, so you can have those displayed full screen. You've got your question sheet, which is a PDF, and you've got your teaching card as well, which is also available in a PDF form. But I think Nicola showed us that in detail. So I'm very conscious that we're coming up to time. So what I'll do now is just hand over back to Nicola so she can have a roundup of some of the questions you may have.
Thank you, Lucy. That was a really, really great walkthrough of both of those products, which really, really helps. Thank you. I'm just going to share my screen again. I don't know if you want to stop sharing, Lucy.
Yep, will do.
Just to summarise then where we are. Let's have a look. Okay. So we've had the walkthrough. So just a couple of questions that come up quite often. Will you be contacted after the webinar? Absolutely. So as part of our next steps, which you will see in a minute, we will definitely follow up with you. We will send you a recording of this webinar that you can share with other staff in your school and that kind of thing. And we will follow up with some sort of next steps for you. And the second question that comes up quite often is, are the books available in print too? Absolutely. The majority, I think I'm right in saying, Lucy and Ellie, are available in print, but not all of them. Am I right in saying that?
The majority are, though.
The
Yeah.
majority
So
are.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. And then just to finish then, sorry for calling on you both then. Next steps, we will follow up with that email, as I said, with the recording of this. Our customer success consultant for your area, wherever your school is, will follow up with you just to see if you would like some additional information, or if you're already using Bug Club Guided, whether you would like that walkthrough or additional support. Please do engage with Bug Club Guided on Active Learn Primary. Quite often we find that possibly people haven't seen and of course, it's added to quite frequently some of the content on there. So, for example, those really useful videos by the author, Wayne Tennant, are really, really well worth a look. And just to say that we are here to offer continued support whilst you implement the programme if you are new to it. And we're also always looking for schools that we can kind of visit and that kind of thing to see how Book Club Guided and our other products actually are implemented in practice. So you know, if you're keen to kind of engage with us in that way, then we would really like to hear from you as well. Thank you for joining us on this webinar. Hopefully it's been useful. As I said, if you're a current user or if you're considering using Book Club Guided, which is that mastery approach to teaching reading comprehension, then please do get in touch. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.